What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. Hopefully, you're actually hearing us and seeing us, because boy, are we rusty at this thing.
Just a wee bit.
There was a whole lot of panic clicking happening before we went live here. So, apologies for being a couple minutes late. But it seems like the stream is working. I'm seeing people in the comments, which is a good start. So yeah, we're happy to be here. For those watching live, thanks for joining us. For those listening to the recording, you missed out. Join us next time. But it's fun to do a live show again. I am joined with the full crew this time. We've got David. How's it going, David?
Good, man. I'm like drowning in sweat over here in nervousness of doing a live show again, but that's okay. I'm good, man.
There's no editing to save us. And we got
Which
Matt.
Is scary.
It is. I mean, not like, let's not pretend like we do a whole lot of editing, but it is always like a safety fallback we have that we do not currently have. And we also have Matt Swift. How's it going, Matt?
I'm super nervous too, man.
Everything's fine. Everything is fine. So I'm gonna probably hand this over to y'all because I'm gonna be furiously clicking in the background here very quickly. But we have a couple things to talk about since we didn't do an earlier in the week episode. We've got the loss on Saturday to discuss a little bit, then also looking ahead to Montreal on this Saturday. So a lot of stuff to discuss, but obviously we have some questions people asked ahead of time, but we would love to kind of ask more questions as we're going along. So feel free to throw those questions in the chat. We'll either address them as they come, or we'll do kind of our normal Q&A session toward the end as well to kind of answer anything y'all are thinking about or have going on. So feel free to keep throwing those in the chat. I think I can pull them up on the stream. I'm saying all this just the little peek behind the curtain. We used to do live shows all the time. We've changed platforms since then, and we have never done a live show on here. So not only are you rusty, but I'm using technology that has not been used in this way by us before. So if you're watching me on the stream and I'm doing a lot of this and looking confused, that's all that's happening. So I don't know if I can hide myself. We'll find that out while we're going too. So it's going to be a great time had by all. But I'm going to hand it over to let David MC as he does when I'm usually playing the producer role. So
let's do it.
Take it away. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to need you not to hide yourself because I think that's going to be entertaining enough of just seeing your face and panic. Things go wrong.
Sheer panic going on the side. So good times.
So you definitely cannot go on hiding yourself. But welcome.
I don't think it's any different than what I look. I'm looking around all panicked and like that. Just a normal thing.
We're professionals, guys. We got this. We can do this.
Absolutely. So, well, welcome everyone to the Mint City Soccer Show. So, live, I guess, right? So, there we go. We got some comments popping up. I feel like I
can pull up comments. We've just confirmed that I can pull up comments. This is nice.
Awesome. Well, if you see that, guys, drop your comments, drop questions. Let's get this show going here. So, Swift, Charlotte, obviously, unfortunately, we're kicking off a live show with not so great news, but Charlotte ended their 9-game win streak, tied for first in MLS post MLS shootout, I guess, era, right? Well, Charlotte now has lost a game against NYCFC, 2-0 in this last game. We'll talk about table placement. We'll talk about where we kind of expect us to finish over these next few weeks. But Swift, what did you feel about Charlotte FC taking on a soccer team inside of a baseball stadium and playing on an outfield and a pitcher's mound? So we'll start with that. So Swift, what would you think of just the field quality first, I guess?
It sucks. I mean, it sucks. I can't wait till they get a new stadium. I mean, everybody that goes there, I mean, I guess like, oh, you're in Yankee Stadium and that quickly fades because you got to play on a horrible angled pitch and the dimensions and everything's just kind of silly. So, yeah, I wasn't happy playing on that surface. Also wasn't happy with the outcome either, but it is what it is.
Sorry, I was responding to Michael's comment there so it's funny. He made a comment. I don't know if you can pull it up here, Corey, but he said
all of us can't multitask at the same time. Let me multitask.
There you go. Sorry, I will. I'm so sorry. Again, just pure just amateur hour here by me. So yeah, it wasn't great, but I got distracted by Michael's comment there. We'll pull that up here a little bit later. But Yeah, I mean, Swift. My
Is it
biggest
this
thing,
one?
it's not the home field advantage about popping the collars. That's what I was talking. What I got distracted about. So, because the funny thing was, so there we go. Thank you. Let's not pretend that Guster isn't going to be staring at Swift's collar the entire episode. So, peek behind the curtain during the pre-show. I had the yellow kit on, and I took it off because my damn collar kept popping up. And I said, Swift, how is this even possible?
Do you button it all the way up,
No, I don't.
or do you button it all?
No, I've got a fat neck. I can't do that. It just
well, if you button it, it's easier. But I mean, mine usually stays down.
Well,
I think you got some
I just
double-sided tape doing a whole lot of work back there. That's what you're not
Yeah,
showing
that's
us.
what
You got
it
it taped
is.
down over here.
Yeah. What
You peeled it up. All right.
yeah, no. Well, I think I just figured out that my problem with it is it's my neck. So, anyways, but yeah, we'll come back to the NYCFC there. And Michael did say ultimate home field advantage. I do think it's something that I hope we don't have to see again in the playoffs, because to me it's not a ideal pitch size. I think it kind of goes counter to what Charlotte's play style usually is. Our strong suit is not building through the spine and ticky-tacky passes and kind of building off of that. We tend to go through the wings. We like to play through balls. We like to play long balls, hold up play, etc. And when you're going down a sideline that is also the, first baseline, and you're going into a corner that is also, the outfield post, like it just, there's so many different things that could be variables here within the space. And unfortunately, it is kind of advantage for New York because they play half their season there.
Yeah, it's not ideal, and hopefully, yeah, we won't have that situation after this season. Hopefully, we don't see them in the playoffs at all. But yeah, I mean, it was just yeah, to your point, like we like to move the ball around, we like to get out wide, and that field doesn't really help with that. And it was just kind of a weird game in general. I think there was probably like a lot of pressure and tension to get that 10th win also, playing on a funky pitch, and it just as you all saw, it just was not our day, and it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it really wasn't. We'll get into some of the things here for it, but I guess one of the first things, and I do think there was probably some pressure from the team. The team won't come out and say it. I know, like even the post game, they're like, "Hey, listen, like the streak would have been great, but we're here to make the playoffs and continue our run into the playoffs and get to MLS Cup, right?" So, they're saying the things that make it seem like it's not the say all be all, but obviously the team wanted that. Like the team actually gave out some tickets, I think, to encourage fans going up there.
Yeah.
It would have been great to have that record from that perspective, but let's talk about lineup here, because at least Charlotte had some players that could have been potentially ready for this game. Biel was quote unquote cleared for this game, but did not start in this game. So what did you think about the starting lineup? Because it's been basically the same starting lineup we've had almost for this 9-game winning streak. So did you agree with Dean's tactics heading into this game, as he even came back from suspension from the last game?
Yeah, I think so. It would be hard for me to not continue with what what had gotten you there. We won all those games with kind of like the same lineup. To change it would have been I probably wouldn't have done it either. We did lack some offensive output, but I don't know if Pep is 100% 90-minute fit either. But or he wasn't for that game. I don't think so. I would have went with that lineup. I didn't have any problems with it. We just didn't really have anything going. Hindsight's 2020. You could say, oh well, because we were having to go through the middle, Pep would have been a lot better. Yada yada yada. But again, could he have gone 90 minutes? And again, it's very hard, at least for me, to disrupt a side that had won 9 games in a row. So I don't know. Tough call for sure. But I think it was the right one to go with what had gotten you there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's hard to kind of break that streak and those players who got you there, right?
Yeah.
But I know you and Donnie, aka Fat Birder, not just a little stitious, but some superstitious a little bit. So I'm not surprised that you wanted to stick with the same lineup. But let's dive into it, because it seemed like, I don't know if it was pressure. I don't know if it was just tactically New York was doing something that Charlotte hadn't really seen. But one thing that kind of stood out to me just really right away was Charlotte got 3 yellow cards in the first 20 minutes. They were fouling a lot. They were making a lot of mistakes. It seems like they were not pressing an attack, but pressing to create and try to make something happen, right? What do you think was going on in Charlotte's head there, really, the first 20 minutes of the game? And we'll talk about the PK and everything like that, but a lot of fouls from Charlotte's side.
Yeah, we just didn't seem sharp, right? Throughout the whole match. And I think when you're trying to press a little bit, maybe things are not going your way, you get a little reckless. And again, it just didn't seem like it was our day at all. Funky time for a kickoff, right? And just everything was weird. Field's weird. Timing's weird. You're trying to win 10 games in a row and break a record. All of these weird things kind of came into play, and we just didn't do what was needed on the field.
I just realized you didn't watch the game live, did you, Swift?
I did not. I had to go back and watch it, and it was brutal. Well, it was really boring and awful to watch that back, knowing the outcome.
Well, I think we know why they didn't show up well. It's because you weren't in your usual spot watching the game. I mean,
that's probably true.
So we could all blame Matt Swift going to a wedding. So
sorry about that.
so let's talk about that first PK, because I know there was a little bit of I don't want to say controversy, because I do think there was definitely some contact there a little bit, but Alonso Martinez was able to get a PK for New York City FC, went up 1-0 basically in the 11th or 12th minute of the game. What kind of happened there in that goal? What do you think broke down? And then do you agree that it was a PK awarded to NYCFC, or warranted even going to VAR from that perspective?
Yeah, kind of earlier on, we seemed to be kind of out of shape too, uncharacteristically for our back line. We were pulled out of position, and then Kalina comes out, and I think him coming out was probably the right move, considering there was literally no one there. But like, I don't know, it just kind of a silly challenge. Again, not sharp. We were just not sharp this game, decision wise, everything else, just not a sharp decision.
Yeah. And then, obviously New York went up early, which I think also could have been part of that pressing from Charlotte, right? Trying to create something. They knew they're down a goal with a win streak on the line away in New York on a wonky baseball field, and trying to make something happen from that. If you look at some of the stats here in the first half, like Charlotte's expected goal in the first half was a 0.06 with a total of 2 shots and 1 shot on goal. Like offensively, it just didn't seem to click in the first half at all. Like Corin Vargas, who's been hot this entire time, was basically, I forgot he was even playing at times in the first half.
Yeah, we had a hard time getting out wide, like we've mentioned, and sometimes we do struggle going through the spine, and look back through all these games. We've won 9 in a row. There's going to be a game where we're just not good. It just happens. So I think this is just one of those games where we weren't sharp, we weren't at our best. There was an early PK. If that PK doesn't come that early, maybe this changes the dynamic of the match. It's funny. After the game, after I got back from the wedding, I watched the match highlights. It's like a 5 or 6 minute video. It's literally nothing about Charlotte offensively, except for the Zaha PK, which we'll talk about. There's literally no other highlight of Charlotte offensively, which is crazy.
That's because we had like 0 shots from the 8th minute to the 40th minute. Like we had 0 shots during that time frame. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, it was a really bad performance, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm glad if it's going to happen. This is the game to do it. I don't think we could go, 12, 13 games in a row unbeaten. That's just unheard of. It's crazy, especially in MLS. So go ahead and have this off game and then stack it up, next match and everything like that. So I don't feel as horrible, even though we put up a stinker. It was a bad match for us.
Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen. And I think, Corey, we talked about this a while ago about like I kind of wanted to get this loss out of the way before heading into the playoffs, and I'd rather it be now or this week versus Philadelphia or in the playoffs, because to me that just, I don't know, that kills momentum. We now have a chance to get it back and get our mojo back.
Yeah,
right?
and I also sometimes feel like it's like a motivating factor. It's like when you get on one of these streaks, it's like, all right, yeah, we had a really good run, but like there's still some work to do. So you have a real bad stinker of a game like this. I mean, obviously you don't want it to affect playoff seeding and things like you don't want a loss to mess up some things that were going really well. But yeah, I mean, again, talking about superstitious things, like I always felt that way about teams, like to compare it to college basketball. Like I've always felt okay if my team lost the conference championship because I didn't really care about the conference tournament and going to the real tournament, right? It's the same kind of thing. It's like, I feel like it's kind of that wake up call right before the really, really big games where you have those can't lose matches. It's the wake up call to say like, all right, guys, we got some work to do to get ourselves ready for this playoff run. So again, not an ideal situation. Maybe would have rather it be a draw or something like that to still get some points and keep NYCFC from jumping as high as they did. But either way, I mean, I think I don't think it's actually a bad thing to have a game like this at this point in the season.
The only bad thing about this particular loss is that all of the teams around us won, which is usually not the case.
Yeah, not
So
ideal.
that sucked. Usually like a team here that they'll get a draw or like literally everybody for whatever reason won. But now, we kind of see where everybody is really stacked up. Now all the teams are starting to get kind of even. There's we'll get into this, there's of course Miami and I think Orlando City, and everything like that. But now we just have the rest of the season to focus on and we're back at home. So that's exciting. We have 3 games remaining and 2 of those games are at home. So yeah, I'm kind of okay to get this off our plate. And then now we could start making another run.
It didn't help also that it just rubbed salt in the wound that Miami somehow went up to New York last night and won 4-0 in New York. But if you go back and look at all of those goals that they had, obviously they had a PK, but like 3 of the 4 goals were all built through the spine, all built off of link up play and go right through the gut.
They play through the middle. So that makes sense. And look, we could have gone up there and played through the middle and had something happen. We just really didn't play well. And it's what happened. It's okay.
I mean, you should have just called Dean up, man, from Boone and just be like, Dean, just play through the middle, man. Just fix it. Just go right through it.
Yeah. I'll do that next time. It was my bad. I didn't have good cell service up there.
He's used to wearing those AirPods in his ear now and be able to get notes from time to time.
Yeah.
So anything else in the first half before we move on to the second half? Because I want to also just ask you about that second PK and then the Wilfred Zaha's PK. So anything else stand out to you first half? Okay.
No, let's not rehash that anymore. We have to.
Yeah, and we probably won't rehash the second half very much because again, there really wasn't much more for Charlotte to do in this game, right? So Charlotte in second half had a total whopping of 3 shots, and one of those was a PK. So if you're looking at that from that perspective, again, very, 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 very little offensive output from it. So Charlotte, at least, and it was interesting. Charlotte took their time coming out at halftime. I don't know if you noticed that, Swift. Compared to how we've been treated sometimes. Charlotte's usually out there prepared at the start of the half, and the other team, like Miami did it to us recently, came out kind of late. Charlotte was the team that came out a little late in this game. And I don't know if that was Dean trying to change things up, trying to play psychological stuff against New York City, but that stood out to me that was because we were all kind of laughing and bitching about other teams doing that, and then what we do right back the same thing. So
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Those two goal. Well, I'll say one goal and one potential goal there in the second half. So Charlotte FC allowed a second PK, which again just crazy that there was so many PKs in this game. Tokomate got a handball in the box, kind of a not intentional, but kind of a, hey, I'm trying to dodge and move out of the way, but my hand happens to be up in the air, and obviously got called from a VAR perspective, reviewed. Do you agree with that call? Not to make this the question the ref episode, but you agree with that?
If it happened to us, I'd be like, yes, that's a stone cold PK. I mean, his hand was out. Like, it's not down by your side. I know he's kind of like turning. Clean is on one side of the goal, the other side is kind of open. So I don't know if you listen to Jess Charman's kind of commentary through that, because she's a goalkeeper, she kind of like gives her perspective of like, where's the ball going to go? The referee has to kind of like take that into consideration. So, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, if it were us, I'd say, yes, that was a PK. It just sucks.
I agree. I mean, there's been calls that went both ways throughout our entirety 4 years, over the years as well. That's been called PK, not PK in those situations. And I do get it. And then obviously Martinez gets a second PK goal in that space. But the one thing I want to pull up is the penalty that Wilfried Zaha took. So what is your, and not to make this the critical, and because we've had 9 great games of being positive and having lots of good vibes, but what'd you think about that moment with Zaha? Because we could have swung some momentum there at that moment, don't you think?
Now I'm about to go on a rant about something totally different than Zaha. The referee needs to do something with the goalkeeper, because if you watch that PK, that goalkeeper needs to have his ass on the line and ready.
Oh, you're talking about Freese? Yeah.
That goalkeeper was like off of his line. As the whistle is blown, he has to come back. If I were Zaha, I would have stopped. I would have turned to that referee and like, make sure he's on that line. That's what I had a problem with. It wasn't a great PK by any stretch of the imagination. I think Zaha had opened himself to kind of look like he was going to go the other way, and kind of went the opposite direction. That's why there's probably not like a lot of power on it. But again, like, you've got a PK, and you've got to bury that to get your team back in the game there. But I'm kind of pissed at the ref and the goalkeeper there in that whole situation. That really actually bugged me.
I mean, PKs are psychological, man. It's all about trying to play mind games.
The goalkeeper is supposed to be on his line ready, and he was not. Go back and look at it. Like, Zaha, if I were Zaha, I would have went ahead and kicked that ball while he was not on his line. That shit bugs me. But anyway, the referee let that happen. I don't think that was right. Anyway, he still missed it. It doesn't matter, but still.
Yeah, and it seemed like, I don't want to say like we threw in the towel after that, but it seemed like Charlotte kind of made some subs. I don't know. Let me backtrack. Biel came in at the 60th minute, try to get some momentum going a little bit right after the second goal from NYCFC.
Yeah,
PK happened.
Brant out after the second goal immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, after the Wilfried Zaha sub, we saw some I don't want to say odd subs, but subs that we typically don't really see. Archie Goodwin comes on for Marshall Ruddy, which obviously a formation shift a little bit. Andrew Privet came on for Tim Ream, who hasn't had significant minutes in a while. And then randomly, Lil Bada subbed on for 30 seconds for the game. I don't know. So what do you think about the subs and the tactics? Again, I'm not going to sit there and criticize it, because I think the game was out of reach at that point. But what do you think from that perspective?
I mean, after we went down 2-0, he makes that sub quick there. So I was good with that. The other ones, I'm kind of like, okay, not sure. The late sub, I just don't even. That doesn't even make sense to me, unless you're just trying to get some minutes. And I don't know. That made no sense to me. So
Yeah. So there's some questions popping up in here, Swift, in the chat. So I want to pull a few of these up, Corey. So not to put you on the spot, Corey, and find them, but Gordon pulled one up here about awful game, awful perform. Wow, I can't even say it. Awful performance and an awful place to go and watch the game. It was very poorly attended. Great weekend in New York aside from the game. So and then he kind of pulled up a second kind of follow up there. It says, "What's the biggest factor you contribute to this loss, Swift?" So pressure from the 10 in a row. I know we kind of talked about that earlier on in the beginning of the show. Bad playing surface, size of the pitch, something else. Do you think they were out sightseeing New York too much at 8 a.m. before kickoff? Like, what do you think? What do you think contributed to this?
I think it's not just one thing. I think it's all the things that you've listed there. And then plus, again, just run a form. We just tied a MLS record to get to where we were. Eventually, we're going to have an off game. Eventually, things are not going to go our way. And it just happened to be this game. Maybe I'm just being really optimistic about it, but I don't know. I figured it was going to come at some point. But yeah, it just came this game. But I do think all the other factors are definitely part of it.
So I want to pull up MLS table and just kind of read this off to you just for a second here, Swift, because you know, with NYCFC, Inter Miami playing last night and Inter Miami winning. So you're looking at a table right now where Philadelphia is still sitting in first, played 31 matches. They've got 60 points, right? FC Cincinnati played 31. They're sitting at 58 points. Inter Miami still has somehow 2 games in hand, and they're sitting at 55 points. Yeah. Charlotte played 31, sitting at 53. NYCFC 31, 53. Orlando at 30 with 51 points. Nashville 31 at 50. Columbus 31 at 50. And I'll stop there because it's mind-boggling to me how competitive the East is. That basically from 4th to 8th is a difference of 3 points right now. And then Orlando has a game in hand within that space as well. So looking ahead a little bit, how are you feeling about our chances finishing still top 4 right now, the way that these games went this past weekend? Oh, look at Corey doing some producer stuff on the live show. Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Nice. Yeah, this is helpful because I was flipping back to the standings. No, I we just have to take care of business. Like I said earlier, now we have more of an idea of like where everybody sits. Like I kept saying for weeks and weeks that Miami has all these games in hand. Now they look like they were slipping a little bit. Leagues Cup, they had the suspension. They got beat pretty bad, then we beat them. But like they're a team that's usually pretty good and in form. So they had all these games in hand. And, when we were running the numbers, I think, was it last episode or episode before last, David? I said it looked like what I was being told. 4th is where we're gonna land. We'll talk about some other matchups, but you got to look at Orlando City, who's only played 30 games. But I mean, there's definitely a real chance. I mean, we have 2 home games left, and we got an away match against DC United, who, I think we could beat. They're not that great. So I like our chances there. I mean, if you look at some of these other matchups, if you want to go ahead and kind of go through that, you got Orlando City, who's only played 30 games. So they have to play Cincinnati away. That's their next match. So something's got to give there. Cincinnati's like above us. So something's got to give there. Then they play Columbus at home. Then they play Vancouver at home. And then they play Toronto. NYCFC, they play Red Bull away. They play Philly away. And then they end the season Seattle at home. So they have a pretty tough schedule, and they're playing 2 games away. And if you look at Cincinnati, they play Orlando at home, they play Red Bull away, and they play Montreal at home. So I kind of feel like Philly, Cincy, or probably it could be Miami. Philly, Miami, Cincinnati could stay there, and then us. What we really need to worry about are the teams like we need to worry about NYCFC. We need to worry about Orlando. And then not necessarily Nashville. I'm more concerned about Orlando City and NYCFC, really.
You know what solves all of this, Swift?
Yeah. Just win them all. Just win
I
all
was
the
gonna say,
games.
just Al Davis it, man. It's just win, baby. That's all you got to do, right? So
Yeah.
just win the next 3 games, and then just let fate play its cards a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on tiebreaker. You know, if say Orlando City won out all their games, right? I think that they would be, if we won out all of our games, I think we would be tied on points, maybe. So I don't know about those tiebreakers and everything like that. But I mean, again, like, yeah, if we went out, I'm pretty certain. I think if we win 2 of the 3, we're good. You could lose one, or draw. But yeah, the Montreal is an absolute must win. So so you got to take care of that one first. They're not a good team, and yeah, got to do that first.
So Michael put in here, just reflecting on the last game. He says, "In my mind, this was the classic quote trap game. It was such a big win last week, so much emotion in that Miami win." I agree. I mean, it was just something that, I mean, then you go up to New York playing a small pitch, 12 p.m. game because they got to have 72 hours to flip the field over to baseball again. What I mean, it is what it is. But now, do not follow that up with a loss to Club de Foot at home this weekend. You know, from that point of view, you know.
Yeah, a draw and a loss would be that would be awful.
It would be bad. It would be bad. Let's see what other questions we got here before we start pulling up some Q&A from Discord. Gordon says, "Did Tim Ream listen to my questions last week because his game was much quicker this week?" So, what do you think? What do you think from Gordon's question there, Swift?
Maybe so. I don't know. You know, you'd be surprised who listens to the show. So maybe he did.
Pretty sure Ream does not listen to this show, but that's okay. Hey, if he does, Tim, I've never doubted you. I love you. You know, go follow him. It'd be fine. But yeah. So, anyways, but so let's pull up some of these questions, Corey. I don't know if you have some other questions you want to queue up here, but I'll let you kind of pull up some Q&A, and keep the questions going in the chat. Put some comments in there, but we'll read them on the show. But Corey, I'll let you queue up some of the Q&A from Discord.
All right, here we go. First one's from Keith. Is it more important that we play Biel now, if able, to lock up 4th, or save him for playoffs, even if that means 6th or 7th? This also assumes other teams' results line up for us.
And so for those who didn't see, Pep Biel had some kind of tendonitis, like non-contact or
non-contact,
injury. So he's got some tightness today. Didn't really practice today. So that might contribute to some of this question here, Swift. So what do you think?
Yeah, so he won't. I don't know if I would play him then next match, right? Again, go with what has been working. You could bring him in depending on how he's feeling in the second half. Hopefully, he's not needed. He can rest. We've got 2 more matches after that, and then we have playoffs. I want him fresh for that. At some point, we probably will see him back in the starting lineup, but I don't think it's necessarily needed this match against a bad Montreal side. God, I hope he's not needed. I hope we're not struggling. But yeah, the big thing is to keep Pep healthy. Get through all of this. Don't rush. He does not have to rush back. We're okay. So we need him really good to go in the playoffs.
Do you, and I know people were joking around with this in Discord, and even I've seen some comments online, but has Charlotte just had some really shitty luck with like hamstrings and leg injuries and things like that the past 3 months? Do you think there's anything to that? Like, what's your thoughts on the recent hamstring gate? Whatever you want to call it. So, what's your thoughts on that?
My nice answer is that it's just bad luck.
Oh, okay.
I want to say, what the F is going on, and somebody needs to be fired. Like, I am being serious. Like, it's getting kind of absurd. It's the same injury. What is going on? There's too much of it. But I'm just hoping that it's just weird bad luck, and it's
There you
not
go,
somebody not being able to do their job.
Hamgate. That's right. That's right. I mean, we still have to somehow cook a ham somehow, and sacrifice a ham to the gods to heal everyone's hamstrings. So,
Yep. I will pull up this one since it relates to the question we just answered from in the chat here. If Pep doesn't come back today, what is your ideal game? And when he said today, he means like this week, this weekend's match. I'm concerned he has some rust to work out, because that's the other side of this too. Is that we talked about this before. It takes a little bit to work yourself back into the rhythm of the team, and I feel like even a little bit we've seen him, it hasn't been quite as magical as it was before he got hurt, obviously. So yeah, there is also the risk of keeping him out too long and then he's still rusty kind of coming into the playoffs. So if y'all had to pick, like, what game would you like to see him back in the starting lineup?
I was just going to say, like, I ideally Philadelphia, because I think that's the game that you were going to need someone, and hopefully we can win both next these two games and get a chance to talk about Supporter Shield if things go our way and games fall in our way, right? But I agree with you. I think there is some rust. I think people get into match fitness and form and consistency. I mean, Pep's a great player, so I don't think it'll take him very long, but that is a concern for me, especially how spread out MLS playoffs are this season, and like the gap in between games and series is just ridiculous. So like truly need those minutes. If you just hope that he's going to get into playoffs and plug in, and then you're going to have like 2 weeks off at different times, like that's just crazy to me. But that's a different conversation, I guess.
Yeah. I think Dean said he's like 50-50 for this weekend. But for me, like DC would be a good game for him to get back in to either start or come off the bench and play a good bit of the second half. You're probably, you're on the road and you probably need a little bit of firepower at some point to try to maybe go for it, or, I guess however you want to play that game. But I'd like to see him then, because then he could have another game against Philly. And he could get a run out this match if he's okay. Maybe the game's in hand. You want to get some minutes under his legs and stuff like that. But yeah, to your point, David, you've got to get that rust off before the playoffs, because you're not playing fast and furious like most tournaments. It's prolonged.
Yeah,
just go ahead and cook that ham and sacrifice it, man, in the locker room before we go up to DC. Be good. Because can I pause this for a second, Corey? I guess on that, but like Swift, any word on Harry Tuffalo? Like, what do you think from him? Where do you think he fits into this? And because he hasn't really had any match minutes that's been significant. Like, he hasn't played in a significant amount of time before even joining the team. It's getting crunch time for me to even see him being consistent in the playoffs.
Yeah, you probably won't see him till maybe Philly, and then he could be available for the playoffs, which could be good and bad. You're like sharpness playing with other, you're the folks that you're normally playing with. So,
I like how it went from, oh, he's a tough guy, hopefully this is back in a week, to now it's like, oh, it's going to be like 4 to 5 weeks.
No, I had heard that it was a little more serious than what I think everybody had initially thought. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, get that damn ham cooked. But yeah, go ahead and read what Gordon said there. Corey,
oh yeah, I was just pulling it up because we were already answering the question, so I just wanted to pull it up for him. I think we were already there when he chatted it in. But all right, let's move on to some additional questions we have in here from the Discord. All right, from Matt Chantry. I assume that's Matt Chantry. Matt C.
It is.
Yeah. The top 8 teams all feel very similar. The playoffs are a little bit of a lottery. Does that increase the importance of getting fourth to have some degree of home field advantage? I think meaning in the first round and possibly beyond that. David, I'll start with you because I think Matt's answered the first one.
I would say yeah, because when you saw us last year go down to Orlando, right? I was unfortunately there and got stranded on a shitty Frontier airline plane that got delayed 3 times trying to come back to Charlotte. So, no, I think it is something there. I think we also showed that the one playoff game we had at home against Orlando, the impact that the crowd can have and the energy that the players can feed off of. So I think it is important, right? To have that advantage, to have that knowing that even if you lose a game on the road, you at least have one more chance to come back and make a difference at home in front of your fans. So I think it's very important, to be honest with you. And again, going back to, that feels crazy to say this, but back in February, we were talking like, yeah, the expectation is for us to finish 4th this season because we want that. So what do you think, Swift?
Yeah, I think it's super important to have that home field advantage, and gotta scrap this out and get to the finish line here. And we're right there. I think before we had this huge win streak, we were just like, just get in the playoffs, man. We'll see what happens. But now, if we want to go far, that advantage is super important. So this is a really good question, because all these teams are very, similar and stacked, and anything can happen, as we've seen. I mean, I look at the Columbus Crew. We all thought like, oh yeah, Columbus Crew, definitely in the playoffs, and look where they are. Like it's crazy. So it's going to be a tough playoff run, but so we need some home field advantage for sure.
Savannah asked, red wine with the ham at the tailgate, Swift. Do you think that would be? So I put in there rum ham. Get some rum ham for us.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Rum ham. Rum ham.
Oh man. All right.
That's pretty good.
Let's get back here. Doing a lot of clicking over here. All right.
Sorry. I know.
No, you're good. Matt Jones, when you look at
sorry.
I'm pretty sure that was Mike Jones.
That was Mike Jones.
It is Mike Jones, but I couldn't help myself. Sorry. So what happens when you do a live show?
Just things you don't. We can't edit it out now, so you just get
281-330-800, folks. Sorry, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, Matt Jones.
I love it. All right, Matt Jones. Just pausing just in case. All right, when you look at the stats of our wins, with rare exception, we have less possession and fewer shots. It's almost bad when we have more possession. Why is this? And I have a character limit on this, so I think he had some suggestions, including Dino limiting of bad shots, our transition style, or personnel. But yeah, are we a kind of team that doesn't want to have that possession, or why do we see this kind of come up in matches?
This is a really great question. I think we're a counter-attacking team. So I'm okay when we don't have possession. I mean, you can even go back to last year when I'm like, dicking around with the ball. What good does it? We had I think we had more possession this past game, right?
We did.
And I mean, it's you can have the ball all day long.
2 shots. Like
yeah. So it's a good point. Like, what are you doing with it? Just because you got the ball doesn't mean you're doing jack shit with it. So I'm okay to not have the ball as long as we're attacking. I mean, we can have the ball 20% of the time as long as we're winning 1-0. I don't really care. So
do you think that's a Dean system, or do you think that's just because the players we have, or is that kind of what he wants, you think, or what?
I think so. I think, a lot of coaches are like, I want to play beautiful attacking soccer and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes, man, this ticky-tacky, like everybody wanted to be Pep Guardiola for like years and years, right? That was the style that everybody and every team wanted to run. But now I think the kind of like counter-attacking, the long balls, I think it's coming back a little bit. It's funny how things work back around. So I think it's just our style of play. I think it is our the personnel that we have. We have good center backs that can play long balls out of the back. We have Ashley Westwood that can do the same thing too. We've had Pat that's been up top, and we have Tokolmati. But I think we're a team that likes to counterattack, get wide, put balls in, and get dangerous. we're not a team that works through the middle. We're not ticky-tack. It just doesn't work for us. So I think that's why you see some of this less possession, less shots. I know there was some debate about some of the shots and everything too. But
well, I think it also links back to like if it and maybe I'm just throwing shit at the wall, so which is totally for me, but whatever. But like looking at that stat and just reading that out loud, usually if it means that we have more possession, it's because we're sitting there passing and just dicking around with the ball because we don't know what to do with it, because we don't typically build through the spine and we can't play those kind of balls, right? Like it just means that we're going down the corner and going, oh shit, let me kick it back and then try to figure something out, versus like where we've been successful is where we've had transition or set pieces or crosses and things like that with Tokomati or Pat beforehand.
We really struggle when defenses can set up in front of us and kind of go into a low block. We have a hard time breaking down teams like that. In the past, we've gotten a lot better, and I think we mentioned this on the show. In the past, we haven't really moved well off the ball, and I don't think we did really that in this match either. But we struggle when teams can set up in that low block, and it's hard for us to break down. So it's beneficial for us to kind of have this like running gun back and forth sometimes, because we are a defense that bends, doesn't break, and you're like on the edge of your seat the whole time. But that also allows us to go back the other way. And to me, it's kind of exciting football.
They just asked a good question there.
Yep, I'm going to jump over to that real quick.
Just solidifies me not wanting to go to the game is what he just
Well, yeah, I'm like, that's honestly my reaction. Was like, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at looking at the weather. And so honestly, this just made me sad about like being a nasty sitting out in the rain match. But apparently, according to weatherman Nate, with the pending heavy rain on Saturday, what will be our biggest strength and biggest weakness against Montreal?
Well, we don't want possession, so just kick the ball into the puddles. You know, I mean,
I'm going to weather.com, by the way, while you're doing this.
Pull it up on the screen. Share the screen there.
Yeah, here we go. Y'all stall while I do this.
No, I think our biggest strength could be our defense, because like typically we're not going to make too many mistakes lately. We have some smart players back there, and hopefully that is the situation. Our weakness is if we're trying to play counter balls and long balls, typically doesn't go super well when it's wet and slippery and those kind of things. Or it could be, I guess it could be a strength if a defensive player slips, etc. So hopefully that helps us out. I'm just filibustering while Corey pulls up weather.com, but yeah.
I think one of the things, and again we're kind of debating this in Discord, is that we're gonna, on a wet surface, you need to shoot the ball outside the box. You just need to get shots on frame. We struggle with getting shots from distance, but when it's rainy, we have the turf, it skips, so we need to shoot the ball more. That's what I want to see us do more of. What is the weather like? What is?
Sorry. I know we're an audio platform by default, but I'm also just reacting to this on the screen here.
So scattered thunderstorms doesn't scare me as much. Again, I'm just looking at this for the first
What's ironic, we're wearing the Carolina Lightning kits.
That's right. We are. That's daytime. Nighttime, and I don't know when nighttime starts according to weather.com, but it doesn't look as bad. So we'll see. It looks like also a lot of rain on Friday, which is not my favorite either. So didn't know y'all were going to get a weather report during the live show here, but this is what's happening.
Oh, you need to pull up Willie's comment here after that with the wet here. Diani's going to break the record for slipping and falling during a game.
It's probably true. Yeah, he slipped a lot this game, didn't he?
Yes, he did in the first half, especially. Yeah.
Man, yeah. Who's Willicus Maximus? That's hilarious.
That's a great name. It's a great
This
name.
is why I love doing the live shows. This is great, just seeing this. This is great. Yeah. So, Michael says I'm happy he's got the company suite for this game. Well, feel free to invite the.
Oh yeah, where's our invite?
Invite some friends, mostly us. Oh, hold on. We got additional weather reporting from Nate here. WeatherBug has a 70% chance of showers with evening thunderstorms.
So let me ask you guys a question, because this is definitely a soccer podcast. So when it says 70% chance, is it that the likelihood that it's going to rain is 70%, or is it 70% of the area it's going to rain?
I think it's the first one. What you said.
Yeah, I think I've learned this recently and watched Nate
Did you
chime in with the answer. Yeah, because I'm not 100% sure. I might do some more Googling, but I'm pretty sure it means like there's a 70% chance that there is. Oh, he's saying the opposite of what I was going to say. I thought it was that a 70% chance.
What?
Yeah, yes, the area. I think
there's a chance that somewhere in the area there will be rain. Not that 70% of the area is going to get rain, and not
so like.
That,
but how do you determine what the area is? If you just type in Charlotte, like, is that zip code? Is that like
how are we going down this? I'm going to do some more Googling.
We'll keep this going, but yeah, this is great. I love how Nate's our weather, reporter on the scene for the weather report right now in the chat. So this is great. So
this is gonna be like the new version of what minute is it on the clock?
There you go. Right.
Controversy is
0 minute on the goal. Yeah. Nietzsche's saying the same thing. 70% of the area. What?
Yeah.
There's no way.
That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I'd heard. I thought I was crazy though. Like I had heard that, but Reddit's
never wrong. No, hold on. They linked to weather.gov, which government websites can't be wrong either. 80% chance of rain means that it's 80% chance of getting measurable rain within the forecast area during that time period. It does not mean that 80% of the area will get rain. So that's what it's saying, is that whenever they're forecasting for whatever area they're showing,
remember that time we fought about the wave on Discord? Maybe this could be our next fight, is that about the weather.
Hold on. I just pulled up this government document.
Oh my God. I'm filibustering noise right now.
Michael, did you go to Ohio University? Or is that
Oklahoma? I would assume Oklahoma. OU? It's Oklahoma, right? I don't know.
That could be Ohio University.
I'm just going to share this.
Or it could be Ohio,
people are like, this is when people leave us. Like, this has become unhinged.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
It's all good. Actually, a Word document.
Oh, yeah. On weather.gov. To summarize, the probability of precipitation is simply a statistical probability of 0.01 inch or more of precipitation in a given area in the forecast area of that time period specified. So 40% probability of rain does not mean that 40% of the area will be covered by precipitation at a given time, or that you'll be seeing precipitation 40% of the time. Right? So it just means that there is a 40% chance that somewhere in the area will get a trace of rain.
Okay.
Will says it's a weather podcast with a sprinkling of soccer right now. It's good. It's great. We found our title for the episode.
This is what the people came here for. All right, I'm gonna move off this.
There we go.
It's probably for the best.
Remember that time we talked about music a lot? I'm just trying.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Oh crap. I gotta figure out where I was. All right, here we go. Stenio, which is a fun name. We are tied for last in MLS in distance of shots taken, which is an interesting stat. I hadn't thought about that. Is this a major weakness of our offense that was on full display in New York with their packed box? Does this need to be addressed to make a long run in the playoffs?
I haven't thought about that as being a stat, to be honest with you. I know that was discussed a little bit in Discord, but like, Swift, what's your thoughts on that while I ponder on this?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do wish that we would be a little more risky and take some shots outside the box, especially if it's going to be raining, with whatever percentage it might be raining. Because of you never know, like when you take a shot, rebounds, everything like that. So I'd like to see us get a little more aggressive sometimes, especially when we are struggling. But again, I think it's just our style of play, and at least here recently, it's the way we've been doing things has worked. I do have another stat. We are third from the bottom in corner kicks. And we're pretty good on set pieces, right? So we need to get more corner kicks. So that could lend more to like shooting. You can get a ball, go over the touchline, or out of bounds. So you can get more corner kicks. Yeah, we're third from so we're like the third worst in the league in corner kicks. I was looking up some kind of fun stats.
Like the quality of the corner kick or like the
No,
quantity of the
just
corner kick?
the quantity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, which is weird too, because we've shown flashes this year. Remember, like year 1 and 2, we were just like begging for a goal off of a corner. And this year we've had Toklamati score a few. We had Bill come in and do a header,
Yeah.
Milanda come in and do a header. Like we've scored off of some corners and set pieces this year. So we've
Yeah, we're just
shown
not
the
getting
ability to
enough.
do it. Yeah. I mean, that's just
But it lends to this question is like if you're shooting more, the more likelihood that it's going to deflect off someone so you can get a corner. So yeah, we might want to get a little aggressive, but at the same time, like we keep winning, we keep scoring goals. Scoring goals has not been a problem this season.
Yeah.
Except for this last match, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I'll pull this up. Speaking of quantity, I do feel like we've leveled up our set piece game, which is to your point. I agree with that. Is I feel like for a long time, a set piece or a corner kick or anything like that was not dangerous for this team. I was just like, we're going to do something goofy and it's not going to work. But we've become more dangerous on that, which is really exciting. And I also want to give a shout out to my wife, who's not going to listen to this or watch this unless she hears it through the door. She's not going to know this happened. But she like just recently heard the term set piece, or this season, I think is the first time she's ever noticed the term set piece in watching soccer. And she's like, what is that? And so I had to explain it to her. Now she hears it all the time. She points out, she's like, I understand what that is now.
nice.
So she's like, I don't know how she went like 4 years of watching soccer with me and like had never clocked the term set piece, but it blew her mind. So now she's excited that she knows that it is.
I will say on the flip side of this question, we are, I think, fifth. We give up the fifth most shots against, which is also not a great stat. I think we're third in clean sheets though. So that just kind of goes to like Kalina and I guess the defense in general. Like, but yeah, not great to give up that many shots.
Talking about wives and soccer, Corey. This is just I'm just going to filibuster before our next question. My wife went and watched me play in my Sunday beer league for the first time in like 4 years.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I was like, I'm like, hey, like, did you watch? Like, how'd I do? Like, what'd you think? And she's like, because again, she's not going to listen to this podcast, but whatever. So she was like, well, I watched about the first 5 minutes, and I was like, okay. And so because she started reading a book and sitting out in the sun, whatever.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then and she goes, I thought you would be running a lot more than what you typically were. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I don't know if I need to be mad right now or what, because like I don't listen to this, Nate, the referee. I had a watch on while I was playing to track where my runs and speed and everything. I ran 4.5 miles, but she was like, oh, I guess I thought when you posted or Sarah that you were like running nonstop for 90 minutes. I was like, no. I wish I could, but no, I did not. So I don't know if I was rather be insulted or if I was just like lack of understanding, but I'm pretty sure it's a little bit of both.
I love that.
Space.
I really would have loved to her to like when you asked like, what'd you think? Did you watch me? Like she whips out a notebook like, I got some thoughts. 38th minute, you did not step up on that winger enough.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I
you
was
gave that guy
playing
way
right
too
back.
much space.
Well, and so on another note, I did, and I put this in Discord for those because everyone knows how much Swift loves Latanzio's tactics. But I was playing a right back, and I pinched inward more like a midfielder and created an assist off of that. And Nate, I'm sorry, the referee the week before maybe take it off, and this week I taped it, made it look like I was wearing a wristband, and
wow.
This year, this game I wore it. So I know it's a yellow card. I'm sorry.
Love it. All right, let's keep getting through questions. Again, keep throwing stuff in the chat as we're getting through these questions from earlier. Here we are from Max. Who is going to replace Kalina, and are they currently in the pipeline, or do you think he plays a lot longer? There's a couple questions in that, like how long do we have Kalina, and if and when we lose him, who replaces him, and is this someone currently there?
In Max's defense too, I kind of clipped this from Discord. He said not to get ahead of ourselves here because he's saying Clean is playing good.
Yeah.
He's just saying like long term here.
Just thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the team wants to. I mean, I continue to elevate defense or not defensive players and roster. That's why you had Calendar join. I mean, they could view that as a potential future play. I still think you don't bring him in if you think Clean is here long term, but we'll see. We'll see. What about you, Swift?
This is a really good question because I don't know what Kalina wants to do. I still think bringing in Calendar gives you a couple of options because you could sell him on for a good bit of money because he is a high quality goalkeeper. If he was our starting goalkeeper, I would be perfectly fine with that. I do love Kalina though. So if Kalina moves on, you do have Calendar. Kalina could stay, then you can move Calendar on. We have other people like coming through Crown Legacy and everything too. That's perfectly fine. We still have David Bingham. Bingham, I keep hearing different things. By the way, I can't really nail down what his future is like. I guess I would have assumed he would move on, but that may not be the case. So lots and lots of questions to be answered, and this is a big one at the end of the season. So let me ask you guys this question. How would you feel about Kalina staying? Would you be good with that? Or
yeah. I mean, I would be fine with Kalina staying. Like outside of over the past 2 seasons, outside of his kind of poor run, which I don't know how much that could be related to him getting a good little knock on the noggin, having a kid. Like, I don't know. Just like he kind of went through a spot there where he was just not his normal self.
Yeah.
But I feel like from before that and after and since then, as he's kind of gotten it back on, and then all of last season, I'm very happy with the way he's been playing. So I mean, assuming he keeps that level up, I have no problem keeping Kalina on.
I think Savannah asked a good question.
Yeah, I was gonna wait to see if David wanted to chime in, but yeah.
Go ahead. All
right. Oh, things are moving. Yeah. So Savannah asks, would you be upset being Drake right now? Which I read this first as the rapper, and I was like, are we getting detoured again? And then I was like, oh wait, Drake Calendar. We can talk about Drake. I mean, I would be upset being Drake right now for a long time after last summer. But yeah. As far as Drake Calendar goes. Would you be upset being brought in when you basically got like 3 MLS starting quality goalkeepers on this squad?
I think if I was him, I would be upset more at Miami than I would be at Charlotte. So I think Miami did him dirty. They did not communicate with him about the trade, see what his well-wished, what he wanted, what his wishes were, that kind of thing. So I think. And Miami's already had some turmoil and things like this. They ain't like us. Yep. So I think Miami did him kind of dirty there. So I think it's a good thing for him to kind of come in. Maybe it's a clean slate. Maybe it's him trying to say, I'm going to continue to get back healthy, get back in form, practice, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he'd be mad at Charlotte per se, but
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, he didn't even know that this was going to happen. It was a shock to him. No one really told him. He had no idea where he was going. I think it's really good business for Charlotte FC. And Drake was coming off an injury too. That's why he wasn't really starting. So he was rehabbing. So this is again a good place for him. And he's probably sitting there, probably asking the same questions we are, like, what is Kalina going to do after this season? Does Kalina want to leave? Is he going to like ask for more money? Like what is that going to look like? So he's in the position where he could like, I could be a starter next season, or I might get sold to a different team and probably have a good chance of starting for another MLS squad. I know there would be a lot of teams that would like for him to be their starter. So I think he's just kind of like, all right, just ride this out. At least I'm on a halfway decent team, and we'll see how this goes.
Well, and he's on a team that wants him. You know what I mean? Like they've traded for him. They obviously see value in him. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
absolutely. Nate chimed in. I still think it would have been a huge mind game if Calendar had started against Miami. That would have been interesting.
You know what they should have done is that Dean should have, after we went up like 2 or 3-0, done a keeper sub and subbed him on for Kalina.
Oh
And
my god,
being up
dude.
2 or 3-0, 2-0, like that is some shithousery that I wish he would have
I
done.
would have demanded that we make a statue of Dean Smith if he would have done that. Like I usually don't like statues of people, but I would have that would have been one hell of a move.
That would have been.
Just do it in the playoffs now. That's all you gotta do.
Oh, can I mention something real quick? Because I had to get some clarification on this because this is the first time this has ever happened to us. Ruddy, he's on loan from Montreal. We play Montreal next. Now, if you follow European soccer, you're not allowed as a player. You're not allowed to play your parent club.
Huh. Makes
So
sense.
I had to reach out because I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the same thing here in MLS. Like, usually we don't have a lot of like interleague loans. And I was like, can Ruddy even play against Montreal? Because like you can't do that in the EPL and I'm sure some other leagues. But sure enough, he can. That does not apply here in MLS because why would it?
A couple of things I wanted to shout out that we got in the comments here for anybody who is listening to this and kind of wants to know what's going on. We have from Nietzsche going back to talking about your Sunday beer league soccer. It would have been an amazing secret episode. And now I absolutely want to do this. Here, Matt, what we got to do, we got to go watch David play soccer. We have to wear the headsets. You know, we got the headsets now with the mic that we only use once in the live show. Yeah, we're going to sit on the sidelines. We're going to record a live show.
Oh my God.
I want special guests. Laura Gessler.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. She could critique David the whole time.
This has to happen. Like I really need this to happen because I think this would be such a fun show.
I will share my calendar with you guys and try to figure it out. I was also thinking of doing a secret episode of just like doing a review of Laura, just like because she has no idea about anything from soccer, and just asking her questions and recording it and getting the audio and being like, so Laura, what'd you think about this play that happened here at this moment, and just get her reaction and see what she even noticed about said moment, and just see what terms she uses. I'll let her know. I'll see what we can find out. But yes, I will.
I think we need to make this happen. This feels like good off-season content. I don't know if you probably don't play during the off-season, but this just feels like
it's gonna go all the way through December, so it'll be fine.
Beautiful.
Oh, there you go.
All right, love it. And then back to actual soccer things. Mike says here, I know you
Mike
have
who? Sorry. Not
Jones. I know you have issues with Dean subbing, but what the fork was the point of putting Abada in for 1 minute?
Yeah, we said it earlier.
Great question.
No clue. It's really strange. I don't know. It was bizarre to me, but whatever.
I don't know. Is there a contract like thing there? He has to play a certain amount of games. Like I don't know. It was a really weird sub. I don't know.
Yeah, very strange.
Oh my God! Secret lives of soccer show wives. God,
there's some good stuff happening here. All right, let's jump back over to the questions. Oh, we already did that one. See, here we go. We're an hour in and stuff is just going off the rails. To be fair, it went off the rails like 12 minutes in. Question from Nietzsche from before the show started recording. If you had to describe the team's performance style this season as a music genre, man, if I had read this ahead of time, I would have saved this for last. But here we are. If you could describe the team's performance style this season as a music genre, what would it be and why?
Oh man,
I'm gonna say swing because it's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you're welcome. I'll bow out now as I hit the microphone.
Literally drop the mic. That's a really good answer. That's gonna be hard to top.
I'm gonna say it's like one of those what do you call them? Electronic songs?
Dubstep?
What is it? EP?
EDM.
EDM.
Yeah.
Because it starts off and then it fades and then it comes back and it pumps up and then it fades and then like there's like these moments of like whatever. I hate whatever you said. I hate that style of music, but EDM. I hate that.
Electronic dance music.
I hate it. But anyway, that's kind of what it reminds me of. I can make a EDM song right now on my computer.
Do it.
And it's just a dude or lady up there acting like a DJ.
You're
never
gonna
mind.
make some people mad. I love this. I want to hear your EDM.
I'm old, man. So like, I don't know.
I was like the old man yell at clouds moment for Matt. It was like that
Absolutely.
electronic EXM whatever music. Them
It's
kids
so dumb.
And their beeps and boops and blops.
That's what it is. It's just so stupid. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go pay a concert for no singing and like just I don't know.
It's a different. Okay, we're not gonna get into this.
We're not
that
gonna
I'm a
get
huge
into that.
EDM fan.
We'll have a different conversation.
I will.
later.
I will put that's. I really enjoy.
I never liked rave music. I never.
It's a different thing. It's not a concert. It's a whole different experience. If it's not your thing, it's okay too. All right, moving on. Eric, with about a month before playoffs kicking off, of the teams shaping up to be in the East, who do you feel would be the best first round matchup for Charlotte?
Let's look at the.
We need to pull up the standings again. 1 second.
Yeah.
I got you. I don't know what happens when I pull up standings and a question, but we're about to find out live on the show. Where are we? There we are. Hey, that actually works out pretty well. All right. There are our standings.
So who does fourth play? Do they play fifth or
yes?
No.
So there's the play-in game 8-9. The winner of that plays 1, and then 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5.
Yeah.
God,
that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Like, I would love to kick the absolute crap out of Orlando because one, I hate them, and just to get a little bit of revenge. The thing is, none of these teams I really want to play.
No.
But yeah, I think just revenge factor and the fact that I hate them is Orlando.
So are you saying that because that's the one you want, or who do you think is the one we have the best chance of beating? Is it also that?
The best chance of beating?
Like the way I'm reading this question is like the best first round matchup, like the best chance for us to get through to the second round.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up, man. Considering we'll be playing hypothetically fifth, which is also going to be a very, very strong side. Like matchup wise, form wise, maybe Columbus. Actually, I think Columbus might be my answer. We tend to do pretty good against them.
Yep.
And their form is off, so I'll say Columbus.
Yep.
I would say Orlando or Nashville as kind of the ones that I would want to play. I think in terms of matchup and style of play, etc. I think those are probably the better of them all. But I don't know, man. The worst one I don't want to play. I don't know. I don't want to play NYCFC again, especially if we have to go up there and play in Yankee Stadium. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's in October. I don't. Or the Yankees any good. They're gonna be playing October ball. Like then they'd be playing in Rebel Stadium. So I feel a bit better from that. But I don't know. So that's the East is stacked this year, man. I
think that's the thing to me is like we're looking at it. An earlier question kind of alluded to this. Like when you look at like 3rd through 8th, I mean that is just brutal how good all those teams are, and that's why like who knows where we're going to land in the seeding? Who knows we're going to play first round? I mean that is just that is a wild stack of teams right there. I think I agree that the one I'd most want to match up against would be Columbus, and the one I'd be most worried about right now would be New York City, with the off chance of if the New York Red Bulls can somehow sneak in.
Yeah.
But we probably would play them first round because we need to be the first seed. So the chances of that are slim, but I just never want to see Red Bulls in games that are important at this point.
Ever.
All right. I believe we had some chats come in. I'm going to hop over here real quick. We can. I don't know if we want to talk about this at all. Savannah threw up.
You can mention it.
The playoff ticketing craziness from the club. If you happen to not see this, we talked about it a little bit in Discord, but let me drop this down so I'm not blocking Matt's face anymore.
Oh.
There we are. The playoff ticketing craziness from the club. Basically, they sent out an email talking about ticket prices that they clearly put in the wrong formula on a spreadsheet or something. I don't know. The data was wrong. I don't know spreadsheets very well. And they corrected it, to be fair. Like I think they put something out saying they were going to correct it, and then like the next day, like they sent up updated numbers, which made more sense. But yeah, I don't know if we have any additional thoughts on it other than that. But it was a little jarring to open your email and see the prices they were telling you you're about to have to pay for like a play-in match.
How much were they? Were they, because they were including, like, if you had multiple seats, they were including that at a higher
total
rate.
cost.
Plus,
it was the total cost. I can try to pull mine up.
It was bad. Like I looked at, I was like, what? And then I had fire the intern.
That's always an intern.
Someone from the club reached out and they were like, hey, by the way, those are not the right numbers. They're like, I have no idea how that happened.
They're like, please make sure David doesn't go on social media and goes on a rant. And I'm just trying.
Yeah. And then the actual numbers come down from what I understand, it's 5% less than what it was last season.
Yeah. Like when I look at my the two different email, like it was double the price in the initial email that it actually ended up being. Like it was way off. So
now you could say, hey, let's put out these astronomical numbers and then we'll send out another email and it'll look so much better.
It's like the old department store style thing, like Biel, everything's always on sale. It's just that's just the regular price.
You just raise the price before going on sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just always on sale.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop back over to our question. We have a couple more questions from before the show. So last call to get any questions in for people in the comments here. Matt Nolan, and I'm so glad he chimed back in with this after what he says here at the end, his blind optimism of our road to the supporter shield. But his question this time is, with 3 to go, teams 4 to 6 can pass us with games in hand. Why aren't you ringing the alarm bell for the play-in game risk? And he said, in all honesty, thanks for hearing my blind optimism over the last few weeks.
I mean, I didn't want to be negative, but when I was looking at that table earlier, that's a real risk. Because when I mentioned that earlier in the show, like 2 through 8 is the difference of like what, 3 points?
Yeah.
And there's a game in hand with a few folks. Like it's worrisome a little bit.
I think I mentioned it either on the show last week or the secret show. I honestly can't remember which one we were talking about this on. But I think I said that. I was like, these games are like, yeah, we clinched the playoffs, but these matches are important because there is a very real possibility to slip all the way to 8th. And I do not want to play in that play-in game. Like that to me is, I mean, we can absolutely win it, but that'd be tough. So it's a real thing. Like these games are very, very important. Like, yeah, you clinch a playoff spot, but it's the difference between being in a play-in game and being in the first round series. So definitely some important matches coming up here.
Yeah. And I'm glad Matt Nolan said that at the end, because he, for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row, was like, hey, Matt, how come we can't have first place? How come we can't have top 4 already locked? And I kept saying, like, there's games in hand. You got to watch these games in hand. And then now he's like, oh, what's the risk of being in 8th or 9th? I'm like, yeah, man, like the East is stacked. And like, yeah, all these games in hand now, everybody's kind of evening out. And but if you look at our schedule, Montreal on paper, we should beat them. DC's a poor team, and then you got Philly at home. Philly's tough, absolutely no doubt, but you are playing at home. So I like our chances there. And I will say, a team like Orlando, Nashville, Columbus, especially Nashville and Columbus, they have to win their next game just to catch us on points.
Yeah.
Right. So say we lost to Montreal and both of them won, they would just draw even with us. So there's a little bit of, wiggle room, but not that much. But, again, we've got to just take care of business and we'll be fine. But yeah, I mean,
100%.
Yeah, it's just, you never know. MLS is a wild, wild league.
That it is. All right. last question. So also really for real final call for questions in the chat. Matt Chantry, do we write off the NYCFC match as a one-off blip, or does it increase our concerns about how we play away, especially if we finish 5th or below? Again, talking about that away series. I know we'd have the one home match with the possibility of 2 away matches. So does this spell bad news for our away form, or just, again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but weird match things happened?
Not really. I mean, I don't think so. I think it's a blip. I take it into all things into consideration. Pressure of trying to win 10 in a row, funky field. We talked about that ad nauseum all at this beginning of this episode. So now if we go and shit the bed, in DC, and then, then I start worrying about that again. But we also won 9 games in a row. Yeah, we had some consistent home wins there, but we also won some on the road. So, we showed better progress there. So
yeah, I think it's just a blip.
I agree. All right, that's all we've got in the chat in the previous questions. Anything else, David, Matt, y'all want to talk about before we head out this evening?
Swift, biggest thing that Charlotte needs to do against Club de Foot this weekend.
Win.
Just win the ball.
I'll just get back to
score more goals.
Score more goals.
Stop goals from going in.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the we gotta?
Don't ignore my archive.
Oh, okay. Keep going, Matt. I'm gonna find what this is.
No, we gotta play counter attacking soccer. Get out wide, get balls into Adon and let Zaha keep doing his thing. I thought Zaha played, other than the PK. I thought he played pretty good.
Yeah.
Just keep doing our thing. And then, like I said, just sometimes it just doesn't come off. I think.
I think. I mean, and not to go down this thing, but I think it really did. Us getting 3 yellow cards in the first 20 minutes and going down a goal really, I think, changed how we were going to play. Brant had to be more reserved. Nate had to be more reserved. I don't know. It changed our direction in that. So just don't do that again. Don't have a PK in the first 10 minutes, and also don't have silly fouls constantly from that perspective. So I'm filibustering here, Michael. So if you want to drop it a thing in the chat just in case, because I don't see his question, Corey. Just making sure.
We talked about the caller earlier in the episode, and that was Mike who asked that. So that's my only guess, but I'll filibuster for a minute here longer if there's something I missed, because I just scrolled up for a while, didn't see anything. Unless it was in Discord, in which case,
because I was supposed to be pulling them from Discord. So sorry.
I'm just looking real quick, but I would say while we're waiting,
I do have something cool to. It's not soccer related.
Okay, go ahead. I like it.
He made EDM music in the background.
Do you guys know the Hunting Wives that's on Netflix?
Oh, sorry. I know what question he's talking about, but no, go ahead, Swift. Go ahead. Sorry, I know what question.
So it's filmed in Mooresville, right? My wife's mother lives in Mooresville, and she'll find out this week if they're going to film in her house. Like it's either going to be her house or literally the next door neighbors.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she'll literally have to move out. They'll decorate, paint, all types of stuff. But even if they film next door, she'll probably have lights in her yard. So they're going to film it either in her house or they'll film it next
Does she get to keep the decorations after they're done?
I'm sure all the cosmetic stuff,
the painting,
I mean, will stay. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I know what Mike was talking about. So he says, I was giving him a hard time about his VIP kit treatment for those numbers. So remember, Swift, a while back, you got some special numbers in the back of your jersey for your wonderful service in the military that you did not happen to be in the military for. And Michael was mentioning how great those numbers look for Hispanic Heritage Night that's coming up on Saturday.
Look pretty sweet.
And he said that he went to the team store and called about it or something like that, and they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't, like something along those lines.
I
So
see this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
okay.
he wants to know, Swift, how does he get the VIP treatment you did for getting such great service on numbers and kit specialty customization?
Sometimes I get things because I am just really dumb and I just walk in and I just have no clue and they look at me and they're like, "Okay." That's how I got the military numbers. I had no clue. I walked in, told them what I wanted. I mean, they see me in the team store all the time, so they're probably like, "Yeah, okay, we'll just do it." But like, they just did it. I left, and then someone was like, "Hey, how'd you get that?" I'm like, "I don't know, just ask." They're like, "That's for military." I'm like, "Oh."
Hey, what player number did you get with that too, by the way?
Yuri.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The curse of Matt Swift kits continues. I'm just joking.
You keep saying that. That's not a thing.
I know. Who do you have right now? Okay, that's fine. Watch him pull a hamstring or something like that this weekend.
No, I've had this jersey for a while.
I do agree that the those numbers do look really cool. So
Yeah.
I would love to get a jersey on there.
Yeah. So any player that's listening, I've actually never got a player worn jersey. I've never asked, but
I would love one, but then I also feel silly because I could never in my entire life ever fit in one.
Right.
Because there's no humanly way
that was
possible
my thought.
I could do that.
I would
frame it, I would frame it and do something special with it, but I would feel really silly if like Leo Labata gave me his jersey because I'd be like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, fat guy in a little coat and like ripping it. And that's what I would be doing in that space. So
is anybody still listening to the show, by the way, at this
that's
point?
How
we got a few people that have hung on through all of that nonsense.
Thank you.
Related to that, I would say thank you everybody for watching and listening today, but also thank you to those of you who are supporting us on Patreon. With a little plug here. Truly appreciate it. If you don't know about it, we put it in the comments or in the description of the podcast and on YouTube as well. But you can support us on Patreon, just a few bucks a month for the corn dog stand something or other that David made up. There's only one membership, so don't worry about what it's called. It's the one thing where you pay us a few bucks. But it gives you access to the Discord where we pull questions from. There's also just good running commentary between, after matches. And also we will do, most weeks, we'll do a secret show. That's a lot of fun. Usually a preview of the upcoming match. Sometimes we do something a little bit different, but just one kind of bonus episode. Plus, most weeks, soccer and coffee. We do that on the mornings before matches. Usually David holding it down because Matt and I can't get our lives together on Saturday mornings. But Matt, that's not fair. Matt is there way more often than I am. I've literally been there like one time because I got to go to breakfast. It's very important. It's my Saturday morning tradition is breakfast with the family. So got to do it. But definitely check that out and join us there. We'd love to have you in Discord and hang out there. But we truly appreciate those of y'all who've already joined and supporting us. It's really awesome. And this was fun. I think we might have to bring the live show back a little more. So I've enjoyed this. Let's go off the rails a little bit more. And so we'll
there's always money in the corn dog stand. Always money. Corn dog stand.
There was another instance where there was a club level event that you had to be invited to. And that I just walked. I'm in the club level, but you had to be invited to this thing. And I just walked in and there was Seth and Kelsey and Joe and Lisa. They were sitting at a table and I walk up to them and they were like, how did you get in here? I was like, I just walked through the door. They're like, they're supposed to like check your tickets. And so sometimes you just walk in oblivious and just things happen.
That's the thing I learned in journalism is if you just walk confidently as if you're supposed to be there, very few people will ask you questions.
I do that. I do that a lot, mostly by accident. But like sometimes you just like walk. I'm like you're there.
Yeah. There's I'll end it on this. There was a video or a YouTube series or Instagram Reels or something like that where these guys tested a theory where if you just walk around with a ladder, everyone just assumes that you're doing something very important. So if you walk into retail stores or things like that, holding a ladder, No one's
Yeah.
going to question what you're doing. So they just walk into back rooms and go down
Yeah,
halls
pretty
because they're
good.
carrying a ladder. So
Oh, that's pretty good.
absolutely. Hold on, I
Try
had
that
that.
at a game.
just carry on to the field. Great.
Matt's not on the show this week because he got arrested.
He's trying to. So WSOC, deranged fan tried to sneak into locker room with a ladder.
Real quick before we go, David, is that really meant to be a reference to the banana stand? Is that why you called it that?
I called it a corn dog shop, but yeah, there's always money
Corn
in the
dog
corn dog
shop.
shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't do
really,
it too on the nose, but yes, that was.
I really
a
thought you
reference
made
to
an
that.
Arrested Development reference. Okay.
I did. It was
meant to be
a
that?
tongue in cheek, but it was
Right.
like I didn't make it as the corn dog stand, but like I
definitely didn't realize that was what you were doing until this very moment. So good times, y'all. All right. Thanks everybody listening. For those of y'all who are still watching, I have no idea why you are, but we appreciate it. We will be back next week, possibly live, possibly recorded. We'll see. But hopefully with a lot of joy to talk about 3 more points for the crown as we make this push for playoff seeding. So thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.